Yo, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back, man. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys the best guard build that you can make in NBA 2K25. Now, this build gets contact dunks, can shoot from anywhere on the court, gets elite dribble moves, and some insane defense. But hold on, we're not stopping there. I'm not only going to be showing you guys how to make this build, but I'm also going to be showing you guys the best animations that you can use on it. So make sure to stick around to the end of the video and watch the entire video, because you're not going to want to miss anything, because I'm going to go in depth on every attribute that we talk about. But right before we get into this, man, make sure to like, subscribe, turn the post notifications on. We're trying to get to 80K subs before 2025. And if we reach that mark, I'm going to be giving away a copy of 2K25 to one of you guys that is subbed for Christmas. But hey, man, without any further ado, let's jump right into the builder and how to make this build. All right, so here we are in the builder. You're going to want to make this build on Create Your Own. You're not going to want to use the Pro Tune or the NBA builds. But moving on, obviously, your name, candidate, jersey number, that is all personal preference. It's not going to change any part about this build, so just do whatever you want. But now moving on to the position and all of that, obviously, that is going to change this build. So we're actually going to start this build out on the shooting guard position. I found that this build gets better attributes and all of that just at the shooting guard position, so I definitely would recommend going shooting guard over point guard. And now for the height, you're going to want to go 6'6". I found that this height is honestly the best middle ground because it gives you all the contact dunks you need. You're still able to dribble and have all the speed you need, speed with ball. You're able to shoot from literally anywhere. You guys are going to see some of the crazy attributes that this build gets. And you're also able to defend literally anyone on the court. But now moving on to the weight, we're going to go 180 pounds. This is actually going to be the minimum weight that you can go on this build. Since you're a guard build, obviously you're not going to need strength too much. However, later on this build, we are going to upgrade it to a decent amount, but trust me, this is going to be more than enough. This is so you're actually able to be as fast as possible. Since you are a guard build, you're going to be isoing, dribbling around screens. You're going to want to be as fast as possible, so you're able to get by the defense and be able to score whenever you want. But now moving on to the wingspan, you're going to want to go 6'6" on the wingspan. The reason I chose 6'6" is, once again, it allows you to get all of the dribble moves that you're going to want to have on this build. It allows you to get all of the shooting attributes and badges that you're going to want to have on this build. And all of that on top of the fact that you're still getting great defense and still being able to get contact dunks, even though your wingspan is the same as your height. So just a little recap, you're going to want to go shooting guard, 6'6", 180 pounds, and a 6'6" wingspan. But now moving on to the attributes, we're going to start out in the finishing category. And the first thing we're actually going to upgrade is our driving dunk. We're going to end up bringing our driving dunk all the way up to an 87. And now what this does is it actually unlocks the contact dunks for this build. And if you're wondering why I went for an 87 driving dunk rather than an 89 driving dunk to get even more contacts, is because personally, I have not found contacts to be super important in this game. Especially as a guard this year, I would definitely look more towards shooting and stuff like that. So I chose to save those couple extra attributes to be able to use them on other things as well. But I promise you right now that an 87 driving dunk and the contact dunks that you are going to get on this build are going to be more than enough for what you want to be able to do. But now that we upgraded that, we're going to upgrade our driving layup to a 75. That's going to give us layup mixmaster to be able to make those tougher layups in the paint, as well as float game and aerial wizard on a little bit higher. Now moving on to your standing dunk and post control, we're a guard, we're not really going to be needing those. The only reason it's up to a 37 is because it went up with our driving dunk. So we're just going to skip past those and move on to the shooting category. And starting out in shooting, I told you guys this build can shoot, and I mean from anywhere on the court. We're gonna bring up the three-pointer to a 93. And the reason I went for a 93 three-pointer is that way you're able to get gold limitless range. So once again, you're gonna be able to shoot from anywhere on the court. You get Deadeye on goal, which is actually a lot better this year. And one of my favorite badges in the entire game, you get on gold, you get set shot specialist. And if you don't know what this badge does, basically, as long as you're not fading a shot, this badge is in effect. Anytime you take a standstill shot, even if it's after dribbling or even off the catch or anything like that, this badge will be in use and basically make it a lot easier to make your shot. And now that we've upgraded our three-pointer all the way up to a 93, it actually ended up bringing our mid-range up as well as our free throw. And having your mid-range at an 83 is, in my opinion, more than enough. You're going to be able to hit those mid-range fades that a lot of people are doing this year because it just helps you get open. They're easy shots, and especially if you're using rhythm shooting, it's basically automatic. But for the free throw, I didn't upgrade this any more than a 68, and that is because I really only play park. And when I'm playing mycareer or anything like that, 68 is more than enough for me. But if you're someone that plays a lot of rec or pro-am or anything like that where you're gonna be needing that free throw, absolutely upgrade this a bit more to your liking and wherever you're going to feel comfortable to be able to knock down those free throws whenever you need to. And now moving on to our playmaking category, we are not lacking here either. We're going to upgrade our pass accuracy first, and we're going to bring that all the way up to a 71. Now, the reason I went for a 71 pass accuracy is because that is what unlocks Silver Dimer. And now I know in recent 2Ks, pass accuracy has definitely been a very important part of each build. So if you're someone that likes to throw like flashy passes, a ton of lobs, or anything kind of in that category, you could definitely upgrade this a bit more. But I'm gonna tell you guys right now that in my opinion, 71 has been more than enough for me on this build. As someone that mainly plays 2s and 3s, it has definitely been more than enough for me to be able to pass to my teammates wherever they are on the court. However, I understand if you guys are playing pro-am 5s or rec or anything like that, where you're gonna have a larger court, and obviously you're gonna be able to have to pass further on the court. So if you want to upgrade this a bit more, absolutely go for it. It is your build. Do whatever you want. Just in my opinion, for the park scene, 2s and 3s, 71 has been more than enough for me. But now moving on to the ball handle, this is one of my favorite parts about this build. We're gonna upgrade this all the way to a 90. Now, the reason I went for a 90 rather than like a 93 to be able to get that gold ankle assassin or anything like that is because I feel like you don't need it. With a 90, you end up getting gold handles for days, and that is probably the most important badge out of all three of these. And the reason I say that is because even with silver ankle assassin, you're gonna be getting those ankle breakers whenever you want to, honestly, because even on my 7-foot build with a 70 ball handle, I get ankle breakers on that. So trust me, you're gonna be able to get more than enough ankle breakers on this build. Your gold handles for days is going to be great because you're not going to run out of stamina right away when you're dribbling. You're going to be able to dribble as much as you need to get open. And then of course you're unpluckable. This year plucks aren't very common. Most of the steals this year are coming from lane steals, so I haven't had any problem with having unpluckable just on silver. But if you're someone that really wants the higher ball handle, you could definitely go up to a 92 to get that unpluckable on gold, or a 93 to get that ankle assassin on gold. But once again, in my opinion, 90 has been more than enough for me and my play style. And now moving on to your speed with ball, we're just gonna max this out. 86, that'll give you a gold lightning launch. And you're obviously, as a guard, you're gonna want to have to be as fast as possible as you can, especially when you're dribbling, because that way you're able to outrun the defense, get to wherever you need to be on the court, and just score as easily as possible. And the way to score, obviously, is by getting open. And with this speed with ball maxed out, you're definitely going to be able to do that. But now moving on to the defense, this is actually one of my favorite parts of this build as well. Because we went 6'6" on the height, we're actually going to be able to get very, very good defense on this build. So for the perimeter defense, you're going to want to bring that all the way up to an 85. And the reason I went for that is because you get silver challenger, which will make it a lot easier to guard people on the perimeter and get contests on their shots. You also get on ball menace, and I know right now it's on bronze, but later once we upgrade agility, that is going to be all the way up to a silver badge. So that's going to make it even more easy to be able to guard anyone that has the ball. But now after that, we're going to upgrade our steal, and we're going to bring that all the way to a 79. Now, the reason I went with 79 is because, as you can see, if I go one down, you lose glove on silver. And of course, you're also going to want to have interceptor on silver. That way it makes it a lot easier to get those lane steals, which, like I said earlier, are very, very common on this game. And now moving on to the block, of course, we're a guard. We're not really going to need that. That's more of an attribute for the centers and stuff like that. We're just going to leave that at a 35. But now moving on to the rebounding, once again, more of an attribute for centers. And now finally moving on to our physicals category, we're going to bring our speed up to an 84. It doesn't change any of the badges that it affects, but I just went up to an 84. That way you're able to play good defense and keep up with any guard that is with the ball on the court. That way they don't just run past you and get an easy bucket every time. Moving on to your agility, this is very, very important. You're going to want to upgrade this to a 77. It's because, like I said earlier, it allows you to get that on-ball menace on silver, shifty shooter you get on gold. But now moving on to the strength, like I said earlier, it is less important on a guard, but it's still important to have in my opinion. So we are going to upgrade this all the way to a 65. That way you get strong handle on silver. And now finally moving on to your vertical, this one is also very important. You want to upgrade this to a 75. And the reason I went for a 75, it allows you to be able to get those contact dunks. If you don't have this on at least a 75, you're not going to be able to get contact dunks. But if you are someone that changed this build slightly and made it so that you get an 89 driving dunk, you're going to want to upgrade this to at least a 78. And now finally here, this is all up to you. We have extra attributes that we can really put anywhere we want to. For me, I think I'm going to end up putting it on perimeter defense just because I think that's the most important attribute out of the ones we could have put it on. And with shades of J.R. Smith, DeJounte Murray, and Jalen Green, we have built a two-way, three-level shot creator. Now to take a look at the animations, I'm not going to show you guys my jump shot in this video, but if you guys do want it, I just posted it a couple of days ago, and I posted jump shots for literally every build that you could possibly have in this game. So definitely go check that out if you guys want that. But now for the dunk packages that I use, contact dunks, you're obviously going to want to go with any ones that you can get. After that, I have city dunks with the flashy hangs. I have the tomahawk dunk off 2. I also have the tomahawk dunk off 1. And then on top of all of those, I also have Anthony Edwards equipped on my build just because I was looking through all of these dunks that you can get from NBA players, and his definitely looked the best out of all of them. If you guys have any questions, please let me know in the comments. And if you guys want to see any other builds, let me know what you guys want to see in the comments. But if you guys made it to this point, make sure to like, subscribe, turn the post notifications on. And once again, if you guys want the jump shot that I use on this build, click the video on the screen.